Hello, hello, everybody. We are live. I'm back. I'm looking like this. Hello. How are you? I doing? I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing okay. I hope we're doing okay. And I'm back after a bit of an absence. I've been, doing stuff like, I don't know, looking after kittens. Well, a kitten. Then the kitten left to be replaced by a cat. So I'm kind of the... seems like I'm the official feline sitter for the South Paris region at the moment, because people with cats are going on holiday and I'm not. So I'm hoping to get back into the flow of things. It's been a kind of strange start to the year, an exciting one, but a strange one. So a lot of things have happened that have been different, but good things and things which I've never done before, such as the photography masterclass, which finished finally 9 weeks of intensive photography craziness, really in-depth lessons, amazing submissions, fantastic people on the course, and some wonderful galleries to finish up with. I'll show you those. I'll just give you a little sneak preview of some of the galleries which were created by the people on my Creative Smartphone Photography Masterclass, which is running again in September. So if you want to get on it, it's starting again in September, without the glitches. I hope. There weren't really glitches, but it was the first time I was doing it. So, I didn't know what I was doing, basically, but I did it, and it was great. So this time it'll be even better, because it'll be based on everything I learned not to do last time. So that's it. So I'm back with these hopefully weekly photo appreciation, analysis, chat things, my photographs. And if you don't send me yours in, if you send me yours in, it'll be yours as well. So I'll look at your photographs and talk about them. How cool is that? Do send me a hello, please. You need to be on my Facebook profile page, Sab Paris. Okay, so it's I don't know if I've got a thingy for it. Have I got a thingy? Yeah, there it is. You need to be there, or I won't see your comments. At least that's what I understand. So I am seeing comments, so you must be there. So you want me to see your comments, and I want to see your comments. Also, if you've got photographs you want to contribute in the comments, please do. Please do. I'd love to talk about photographs spontaneously, not ones that I've seen before, although obviously I'd like to talk about those too. So I have got comments. I've got Chris saying, hi, Sab. And she's saying, yeah, masterclass. I was just thinking about the masterclass, and I think I've got everybody's permission to show their photographs. So I might show some people's photographs in a second. Or maybe I should do it right now, should I? That's not it. That's not it. Oh. I'm just wondering what happened to the masterclass, because I had the pictures up a little while ago. And I've also, anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. So I had people on the masterclass. We had 9 people. It was wonderful. And Yaruska was also on the masterclass. Everybody on the masterclass is saying hello. And Alice, who was on the masterclass. So that's great. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to try and spontaneously get, that's given me a menu bar. That's good. Okay, so here we go. So if you're watching this on the replay, then great, say hello as well. I will see your comments. I just wanted to say that I was reflecting on this 9-week masterclass that I did. And, apart from what I just said, how interesting and great it was, what is even more gratifying, exciting, is that I'm seeing the aftermath of the masterclass. That's a bit of a mouthful. And I'm just seeing some wonderful photographs all over the web from the people who did the masterclass with me. And like Chris, who is just commented, has started, I don't know if I could show it or if I have permission to show it. I won't show it just in case I don't have permission, because it's a private group. but she started a group called something like Hidden Hearts, and it's more popular than my groups. Can you stop that, please? It's like just people are finding hearts everywhere. It could be in a puddle, could be in a leaf, could be in the sky, in the clouds. And they're posting pictures of these sort of spontaneous hidden hearts that they've discovered as they're walking around. And it's wonderful. And people are getting complimented on the quality and the there's a special word, of their photographs. And, you know, really positive comments, and people are seeing them. I'll stop in a second talking about the masterclass, but I can see from the comments of people's friends who did the masterclass, their friends are commenting as seeing them as the go-to photograph person in their entourage, which is pretty cool. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my poor little photography group, apart from the fact that I will be running a new, very simple 5-day challenge in the beginning of September, I think, which will lead into the new masterclass, 9-week masterclass. And I am posting stuff in the group every day. Chris says I can show the hidden hearts abound. All right, well, I'll try and find it in that case, except how? How? I'm gonna look for it here. There it is, with or without an exclamation mark. Oh, I've just got rid of the, okay, so here we go. So this is Chris's group, and she has a picture of a heart on the front cover because it's called Hidden Hearts Abound. So if you happen to see hidden hearts as you're walking around with your camera and you like snapping them, or you just say, oh, look, it's like a heart, why not join her group? And you can post pictures of hearts. And just to chug it down a little bit. Okay, so that's 𝗔𝗪𝗘, who was in the masterclass as well, who is watching, I think. And you can't see what I'm showing you, can you? Can you? No. Glad I realized that sooner rather than later. So there it is. And so that you can find hearts in leaves, you can find hearts in, this is strange, it says Facebook. Oh yeah, I get it. I'm relearning my system here. Isn't that funny? I haven't used it for so long. I'm trying to do something. Yes, I know what I'm doing. Look at that, it's like a heart in a cluster of flowers with a little bit of imagination. And yeah, flowers are always a popular one. And what's this? Okay, there's a heart on the doors. That's pretty cool. I won't blow them up. Ah, how about this? This is from Chris. I will blow this one up. And this is... do I have it with me? Let me show you what this is. Oh my God, any excuse to do some self-promotion is pathetic. So this is, this was this. Okay, so it's a postcard that I send out to people who adopt one of my puzzle pieces. And this is the puzzle, and they adopt a single piece. But because they only get a single piece, I send them some postcards like this. Okay, like this. Infinity Squared Intriguing Puzzle Paintings. Here's another one. And here's another one. Okay, so they're actually pretty good reproductions of the painting, and the pieces are only this big, you see, which is perfect. So I send them in the mail, people adopt them, and it's really cool, and people connect. So what you do is you cut them up, you see, you cut them up into 9 squares, and then you can play the puzzle game. And this is it, you see, this is the thing cut up, and you make a puzzle with it, and you can do it in all sorts of different ways. And Chris made Chris made a heart out of it, being the incorrigible romantic that she is. How cool is that? And I've got a few people commenting here, or reacting anyway. And yeah, so there's in the clouds, there's hearts. That's from Dorothy, who is an incredibly creative lady in Sweden. This is from Patricia. I don't know Patricia. Seeing hearts in leaves. That's me, actually. Look at that. Oh, there's even a funky sort of effect. You can move it around, kind of 3D out of 2D. So that was a Paris heart, and it's an authentic Paris heart, people. And it was on a door. And more hearts in leaves. A tiny little a heart pebble on the ground, all on its lonesome. Who was that from? That was from Janie. Janie, hello, Janie. This was from Jean. I don't know. I live in France, and that is a man's name, Jean, like John, but it might well be a lady, Jean, Dorothy, and so on. So this is fun. You see, there's no limit. The limit is only your imagination, and that it looks a bit like a heart. So thanks for letting me show that, Chris. Okay, I've got a Yana. Hello, Yana. Nice to see you. Wow, I don't know if I've ever seen you watching me before. That's great. How are you doing? What have you created today? Have you taken any nice photographs? I'd love to know. And see. So anyone, please, you can. I don't know if I can see actually your pictures here in my comments, but I think can someone try posting a photograph in the comments, and I'll see if I can see it in my system. Otherwise, I might have to go to this system here. Okay. So Yana, yeah, how are you doing? She's a poetess, and I'd love to see something from you, Yana. This is Alice, who says can't hear. Sorry, Alice, but my microphone seems to be working, so it might be you. Chris says something what I said was funny. All right, so let me move on to my photographs of the week. And well, actually, let me encourage you first of all. That's my masterclass. Let me encourage you first of all to post your photographs in this Creative Smartphone Photography group, please. If you're watching in that group, you need to go to my Facebook profile page to comment so I can see your comments. But please contribute. I've changed the format a little bit, okay, so it's not the same as before. I don't know if it's better or worse, but what I do is I give you a prompt every day. Because I have only a certain amount of ability to produce stuff, I use my photograph of the day as the prompt. And I put it up there every day to stimulate you to post a photograph or some comment. I mean, I don't do this, I don't want this group to be just my photographs, but unfortunately it's kind of that at the moment, and I'm not quite sure what to do. At the moment, I would love this to stimulate you to post photographs. But if you don't have any photograph that is related to this, just post a photograph in the thread below here anyway. Okay, down here, post a photograph someone has, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the point is, I post stuff to stimulate you. I want you to post your photographs whenever you like, under any thread. If you want to be inspired by my photograph of the day, be inspired. Post a photograph which is similar, which is related to that one. Or it could be one you've taken before. You could go out and take one, or just post any photograph in any thread of the day, so that I can comment on it on a live like this. So don't be shy. So Rob has posted one here saying metallic nonetheless. So he's done a really mega close-up on a metal thing, and it is in relation to the photograph because this lady is metal. She's made of bronze, and as an added feature, I always publish after the day after, so as not to detract from the photograph, I do post the text which I wrote to go with the photograph. But as it's not a writing group, I don't insist on that. All right, so that's what I do at the moment. This one was from today, actually. This is today's photograph. And the text was something to do with the fact that, well, it was twofold. One was that it's similar to Big Ben, like this huge clock in the middle of Paris. And then the second thing that this made me think of was something a little bit more spiritual. With the clouds going by, I was looking up at it as the clouds went by, and I had that strange sensation, you know, that it feels like you're falling over a bit, or the tower's falling over. It's like the clouds have stood still and the tower's moving. And that reminded me of one of those metaphors for life, the universe, and everything. It's the most cliched one of all, I think. It's that our thoughts are like those clouds moving across the sky. They come, they go. Sometimes they're good or they seem good. Sometimes they're bad or they seem bad, but they're still going to come and go, whatever happens. But behind it all is the sky, and the sky is unchanging. And we are the sky. That's the sort of spiritual message. We are the sky, folks. So so that I incorporated that idea into the text that I wrote with it. And then I repurposed it in about 10 other places. I'll just have a look at some comments. I hope you can hear now, Alice. Despina, hello. Sab, Chris, Alice, hello. Another of my my masterclass people. Hello, Despina. So lovely to see you. Hope you're doing okay. Despina says I can hear you. Whew, I thought she was going to say I can't. So it's your problem, Chris, Alice. We cannot add a picture here. Okay. All right. Another option would be to add it in the photography group, and I could have a look at the comments there. Thanks for telling me that. You can't post a picture. Interesting. I guess you can't post a picture when it's live. There's Despina saying hello again. Okay, then. I will show you now my photographs of the week, if that's okay with you. Yeah, I'm just wondering about that. If I could actually, if you could open up the Creative Smartphone Photography group page, and if you want to post a photograph there, I'll open it as well, and then I should be able to see it. Okay, so if I go, you can't see, can you see what I'm doing? So if you do post a photograph in the smartphone photography group, I'll open that window and I should be able to see it. Okay, so there it is. You can do that if you like. Before, yeah, it's a little slow because I've got so many things running. So before I go to the to my photographs of the week, I wanted to tell you about this. I don't know if you know, but I try to stimulate you as creatively as much as possible. And some of you may not know, but I've started doing a newsletter, and it's pretty regular. It's most days, if not all, and you just sign up for it. So if you go to this page, which is, I wonder if I can get rid of this overlay. It's kind of big, isn't it? So if you go to this page, it's infinitecreativitynow.com/newsletter. Okay, infinitecreativitynow.com/newsletter, and you sign up for it, and you get a dose. It's kind of short, you know. People said not too long, please, not too long. So it's kind of short, and you get a dose of creativity. There's 3 parts. The first part is a little creative, a thing to get you thinking creatively, something about creativity. The second thing is I share a bit of my creativity with you from the day before or today. So it's to inspire you to be creative you. And then the third part is a call to action for you. In other words, I've shown you a nice picture probably. You've had a little thing to think about creativity. The third part is you take action, and I give you an idea to take action. It could be go to one of my groups. It could be post a photograph. It could be anything really. And then there is a final section, and that is events that I have coming up, which you might want to miss, which you might want to go to, and you might get a special deal on them, like my masterclasses and my new Paris retreats. I'm starting Paris retreats from next year, COVID-20 notwithstanding. 𝗔𝗪𝗘𝗧𝗜𝗍 says, it is an almost perfect triangle between the cathedral and the sky. I mean the angle. So she's talking about, I have too many, there we are. So she's talking about this. Perfect triangle between the cathedral and the sky. Yeah, it's actually not a cathedral, it's a station. Una estación. No, is it station? Is that season? Yeah, so it's a station actually. Big Ben is attached to a palace, which is now the Houses of Parliament in London. And this is a clock which is attached to a station, which was originally a station, I think. Despina says, Sab, you are inspiring us already. Does that mean, for crying out loud, don't give us anything more? If you go to all of your Facebook profiles, you'll see photos. Yes, of our Facebook profiles, you'll see photos. I know, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And it's all about drawing out what is already inside you. So if I have had a role in doing that, then that's wonderful. And you had a role in saying, yes, please, let me get it out there. So I'm going to, so go there if you like and sign up for my newsletter. And that would be really cool. And you also get, when you sign up for my newsletter, you get a series of tips, creativity tips. I call them, not that, I call them 9 ninja tips to boost your creativity and productivity, for want of a better title. So you sign up for the newsletter and you also get 9 fun tips. And I'll show you those, not all of them, obviously, because they're a secret. I'll show you what they look like in a little while. So let me look at my photographs of the, not that. Here we are. I will show you a couple of galleries of people who did the masterclass in a little while. But I'm going to show you some of my photographs from the last week or so. And please leave comments, because otherwise, I'm all on my own and I get very sad. So if you like a photograph or if you have a comment on it, then please let me know. So as you know, on my website, parissetmefree.com, first of all, I give a teaser, which is the 9 photographs of this chapter, teased. So I cover them up. You see, like this one, there's a title, Witch's Breed, and then there's just my eyes. Or there's these funny colored poles, bollards. Or there's this very strange structure you can see here in the bottom left. There's these funny little wheels. You see there's wheels on some sort of scooter, then there's wheels on a bike, and there's more wheels here, and there's wheels on a sign saying no wheels, and there's more wheels. So it's just a bit of fun to get you, I show you this on my photo pages before I've actually published the photographs. Then I publish them 1 a day. And when I publish them 1 a day, they look like this. And of course you can click them, blow them up, see the photograph and see the text. So that's the game. So I will tell you about some of these, anything that comes to mind. It's unscripted, believe it or not. Oh, okay. Despina says, I posted a photo in Creative Smartphone Group just to test. Hey, well, let's check it out. All right, so, oh my God. Yes, but where did you post it? Okay. That is live. And there's the photograph. Testing. Come on, you can do it. One little bit more effort. Testing. Thistles in decay. Oh, wow. So this is fantastic, because Despina, as part of the masterclass, took some stunning, and I mean stunning, photographs of thistles. And I love thistles because it's the national flower for my country of birth, my region of birth, Scotland. And there they are in decay, and she's got down low again, up against the sky with some nice puffy clouds. And hey, I wonder if I could actually do something clever and go to Despina's page in the masterclass group. When you join the masterclass, which is starting again in September, you get your own gallery. And so it's going to be probably in her nature page. I'm crossing my fingers here. Thinking, is it going to be nature? And look at this. Look at that. Oh, that is so amazing. This was so many people's favorite photo of Despina's, I think. And she did some other stunners as well. So here we are in the smartphone photography masterclass personal galleries that are part of the masterclass, and just wonderful photographs. Is this not a poppy before it opens up? I don't know if it sort of closes up in the evening and then opens up again in the day and closes in the evening, but I think it's something like that, or maybe it's just before it's ever opened. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is another of my all-time favorites. Poppies again, just beautiful photograph. So there's that. Yeah, so I'll eventually get to this. So these are the photographs from the last chapter. Each chapter has, in my Paris Photo Chronicles, has 9 photographs. And there it is. You can see I've tried to play around a little bit with the composition. It's meta composition. In other words, there's the composition of the photograph itself. But when you put them into a collection, there's also that composition. You can throw them together any old way if you like. But what about going one step higher? This is covered in the masterclass. It's in the, I think it's in the last module. It's like a final thing. You put yourself one level up above the level of the photo to the level of the collection of photographs. And that's what I don't spend a huge amount of time on it, but it's always in my mind. For every chapter, I try to have some sort of coherence. So what have I done here? Have a look in the comments. Please let me know if you think that there's something you spot here which makes this composition nice. I mean, obviously it's the photographs that count, but I tried. For example, 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗍 is saying, I love your photographs, Despina. So here, for example, in the top right, I've got this blocky, violent sort of harsh building. And diagonals are beautiful things, especially in photography. So go down to the bottom left, you've also got this block effect with quite harsh lines going up and down and across. So that was my attempt to get some sort of nice composition. Well, at least, the two corners with some sort of correspondence between them. Have I done anything similar in the other 2 corners? Well, I'm limited by the photographs I have. I only have a tiny stock in advance. So I try to organize the photos I have in waiting in some sort of way. So basically, without stopping the blah, blah, in the top left, I've got a building which is at this sort of angle here. And in the bottom right, there's a window which has been taken so that there's kind of angles shooting off that way. Okay, so it's kind of that versus that. Might seem tenuous, but as I said, it's a little thing. It's a little thing. I try to have some sort of link. Another way, in terms of, apart from shapes, which I just mentioned, I also sometimes try to play with colors. For example, the strongest color, the one with the strongest colors is in the middle here, with this very strong orangey and black tiger-skinned bollard. It's probably not real tiger skin. Then the snake behind it and stuff. That was a very striking photograph with a huge lump of color. And all the rest were paler. There was less striking color. So I put that in the middle. You could say that there's a correspondence between the building in the top left, the building leaning out, and the bollard leaning the other way. So I could have put the bollard one in the bottom right, if you see what I mean. But I didn't. And I've got the bridge in the top there. And the bridge in the top, well, you're looking up to the sky. So it's kind of nice if there's one at the top and you're looking up to the sky. And then down in the bottom in the middle, I'm looking down onto the street. And that kind of, it kind of has a logic. The bollards, I'm looking straight ahead. To look at the bridge going over the old railway, I'm looking up. So that's at the top of the composition, the top of the grid of 9. And then I'm looking down at the road. So that's at the bottom of the photograph. You know, there's this logic to it. And then there's slight tonal similarities in the one on the left and the right, because it's this kind of soft sort of beigey, creamy color in both. I always, every 10 shots, when the number ends in 1, I do a perturbing self-portrait. I've got a question from Despina. I'll answer it in a second, Despina. I do what I call a perturbing self-portrait, or creative disintegration. It's me slowly disintegrating until I'm not here anymore. Now, you might find that morbid, but you might find someone who takes photographs of themselves all the time vain. So, you know, you can't keep everyone happy, can you? I'm joking. The point is, it's not really about vanity. For one thing, people in photographs are interesting because we are interested in people. We're made to be interested in humans. But you don't always have a person. So why not use yourself? You're always there, strangely enough. So that's what I do. And also there's this aspect, this very, very sobering aspect of mortality. And I come to terms with that in one way by taking photographs of myself throughout my life. It's done now. I'm doing it. You know, I don't have an end in sight apart from the big one. So, but there's another aspect to it as well, and that is creativity. How can I take a photograph every 10 days? That's what it is. Every 10 days, how can I take a photograph of me, the same old me, which is nothing like any other photograph of me I've ever taken? That's the challenge. And you know that for me, creating is one half of it and sharing is the rest. And the sharing is to inspire you. So anything I say about anything I do is for you to take and see if you can incorporate that into your reality. So there's an idea for you. It might not be you. It might be your kid. You know, it might be, I don't know, your house, if it's in a state of, you know, decay from week to week. Oh, look, the window's fallen off or something. But anyway, that's the idea. So that's been a saying. I wanted to ask you, do you take the photos and think of the text second, or do you have a text in mind and try to find the right picture for it? The former, the first one. I practically never have a text in mind and then try to find a photograph for it. It's rare. Because for me, the beginning of the process is me heading into Paris with an open mind, a ready camera, and a little prayer to Lady Eiffel that she gives me some interesting stuff. I sit down the day before, or on the morning that I publish my Paris Photo Chronicle. On the morning, it's my morning ritual. I sit down. Either I've planned the photo for the day, because I've already arranged them, and I then invent a text for it, or I haven't planned the photo either, and I look for the photograph, put it in the right format, and then wait for the text to come. But you know, it's not that difficult. Let me go on to a more interesting, well, not more interesting. Yeah, so here's the text that she's talking about. You can see here. Every photograph has its text. And at the beginning, I kind of slapped it all over, you know, like 2.5 years ago. I slapped the text anywhere. Now I try very hard to leave the interesting elements of each photograph. And I put the text, I kind of twist it around it as much as possible. So it's very much one thing. It's one creative thing made of two distinct parts, the image and the words. And it's a beautiful thing for me. I've really found something that, well, I started 2.5 years ago as a joke, just for fun, and I haven't stopped. And that's daily. So I found something that really works for me, and I encourage everybody to find something that works for them, for you. Find something you love. Test. You don't know what it's going to be. I didn't know it would be this. I didn't know I would do something for a few days and then think, what about if I did this for 18 years? Because that's my project, 18 years. And that came from having a go, seeing that I liked it, and realizing that I hadn't stopped yet. So to find that thing, you've got to have a go at things. You don't have to find something you're going to do for years. It could just be a project for a week. It doesn't matter. But the thing is to try something, to try things, to be creative. Be creative. It's a wonderful way to be. You've got some sisterly love here. Yeah, Yaruska says, I love your photos, Despina. And Despina says, I love yours. And they all lived happily ever after. So let me have a chat about some of my photographs from the latest chapter. So this was from a walk I did with my son, Leo. He's 10, and he drags me around the entrails of Paris, and I punish him by taking ages to take photographs. So we have this kind of uneasy truce going. If he drives me around too many places, I'll take hours taking photographs. So no, I'm joking. So I mean, I don't have to give you the whole story for all of these photographs, but there are stories. Every photograph has a story. This one, I've been to this guy's studio, the guy who painted this. He's one of the legendary Paris street artists. There's a bunch of them, and he's one of them. And he's known, you know, in all circles that are linked to this as the guy who paints the white man on the walls of Paris. And there's a reference, I think it's to an old song. This is Ménilmontant, and there's lots of old songs of Ménilmontant. They used to have sort of cabaret. There still are kind of cabaret places, and it's up on a hill. It didn't used to be part of Paris, you know. It was almost a village outside of Paris. So it's got this characteristic hill structure. It's got the 𝗵𝗔𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗔𝗍𝗔 cemetery on it as well. And there's wells, there's these deep wells, these sources as they call them, which spring up to the surface. And there's these very interesting curiosities all around this place. It's just great. I love it. And one of the curiosities is the old circular railway that went, and there's a place here where you can actually go down onto it. They're making more and more sections of it, little places to walk. Thank goodness they're not destroying them all. Because unfortunately, I was never here when you could actually take the train all the way around Paris, including over the river. But at least there's lots and lots of vestiges of it, and my son and I love discovering them. And it's kind of, okay, it's a compromise. Either they get rid of them and build flats, or they turn them into nice little walking paths, which aren't quite as authentic as, you know, breaking through a barrier and sneaking down and hoping you don't get mugged by some drug addict or something, as it used to be. But it's cool because there were two lines, and they've left one line as it was, and they've got rid of the other and turned it into more of a walking path. So there's like wheelchair access and stuff, but you can still walk along the actual line in many parts, which is so cool. And doing this, I had this great idea for my paintings. My paintings here incorporate elements of Paris and walking around Paris and my life. It could be a centime or a British penny, you know, my origins. Could be something that I found on the street. Could be a leaf or something. But I've had this idea, and it's going to be in my next series of Infinity Squared paintings. I kind of hacked off, I shouldn't tell you this, you know, there's these sleepers in between the rails, under the rails, the sleepers, and they're all in a kind of not very good condition. And some of them are bits of falling off. I've taken bits of the sleepers, and I'm going to take slices of them, the wood, and I'm going to incorporate them into my Paris paintings. So if you invest or adopt one of my Paris Infinity Squared paintings, soon there will be a little bit of La Petite Ceinture, the old Paris railway, in your painting. So that I'm really excited about that. You know, excited about putting some bit of stick in under some paint. Yeah, actually, yeah. So there's that. I had some story about this, didn't I? There are stories about this guy and why I know him, but that'll be for some other time. This is what I was telling you about. So this is on the railway, the old disaffected, is that a word? Railway. You can see those people are walking on the bit that's been covered over by a walkway, and on the left it's the rail tracks. And I remember a time in Paris, because I've been here for many years, when I would walk over this bridge and look down onto that railway and think, oh God, I wish I could get down there. You know, I'd take a photograph, but it wouldn't be the same. So here we are. I am down there now. And there's something pretty cool about this photograph. I don't know if you can see it. There's a flipping great black bird. And I was walking and it was just sitting there, and it was doing this sort of strange thing like this. And I didn't know what it was doing. It was just, and I got closer and closer, and it was still going like this. I'm thinking, what's going on? You know, are you the devil incarnate or what? And then eventually it flew away, and there it is. Can you see it? There it is. Very impressive black bird. I think it was just a, you know, like a raven or a crow, but big and black and impressive. So that's in the photograph. You know that birds do what I say in Paris. So there's another example, and there will be more. If I want a big black bird in the bottom right-hand corner of my photograph, it's done, man. Or rather, I should say the bird wanted to be there. This is a cool photograph. It really looks, it reminded me of an old spaceship series, I thought, called science fiction series called Space 1999. But then I looked at the spacecraft and they didn't have these kind of things here. And I realized that it reminded me more of just an Apollo launch or something. Pretty amazing. This is the French finance ministry. I mean, it's kind of spooky, don't you think? Okay, I've made it look spookier than it really is. But, you know, I create my own reality. And there it is, a really, really spooky sort of photograph. And there's a boat there, and it really reminded me of some sort of Bond movie. I expected someone to rush out of there with the microchip, with all of France's secrets, and, you know, jump into the boat and scream away, pursued by, I don't know, dolphins or something. Atomic sharks. 𝗙𝗛𝗔𝗬𝗏 is saying, during my holiday, I walked on the railway. I used to travel as a student from my hometown to Thessaloniki. I know the feeling. Yeah, it's a strange feeling. It's a nice feeling, walking along a railway. Just, you know, I mean, watch out for the trains, you know, but I mean, you probably know that. I only have to watch out for ghost trains on the 𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗏, which means the little belt that went around Paris. So yeah, that's a cool one. Let me show you this one, because it was in, I put them in those corners, and it's on the same building actually, down the side. Terrible building. I mean, it's a great building, a terrible building, as you like, but you've got to do something to get it to look more interesting than just taking a picture of the building. And lo and behold, there was a bird, this poor little, funny little dove, I think it was, just sitting on one of those sort of harsh robotic type windowsills. And he posed for my photograph, and then I made the photograph what it is. And that often makes a very good photograph. Something extremely dehumanizing, like some big modern building, and a tiny little bit of life still doing its life thing in there. So I like that. And then there's some sort of interesting reflection in the windows, you know. And this one was interesting because I wrote something to go with that, which was quite unusual. I was getting a bit sick of what I was usually writing, so I tried to do something different. And as you can see, it was inspired 100% by the photograph. 𝗙𝗛𝗏, I don't know how up to date she is. She might not have seen me. This is my favorite photo of the 9, the bird, dove or pigeon, and the reflections of the window. And you had a great text with it. Yeah, well, thanks. I'm glad you think that. So this was... I said to myself, looking at this photograph, I said, okay, come on, give me something. I didn't want to write all over these images, you know, the lovely grid pattern I thought was pretty cool. And I thought if I write over it with one of these big blocks of text, it'll be a shame. And I also thought, I've written too many big blocks of text recently. I want to do something a bit more original. And I also thought I haven't done any poetry or anything that rhymes for a while. And then, so I said to myself, okay, here we are. What have we got here? Well, we've got 8 bits. It's almost like 8 pictures with framed. And I thought, oh, okay. And then I thought I could do a poem. But then I thought, well, to cut a long story short, this is what happened. Lonesome dove forlorn, rectangle wrangle, reflections of perfection, belying not to fly. 1 in 8 berates, cheeky beaky chappy. Golden ratios beholden, why not try to sigh? So it's kind of nonsense, but it's also kind of fun. Do you think people should explain their poetry, explain their creations, or not? Answer in the chat. Do you think we should explain our photographs, or just let people look at them and think or decide whatever, or be touched positively or negatively, however they feel however they are, and not give any explanation? Or do you want to give an explanation? What about when you write something, when you write a text or a poem or something? Do you think that you should explain it? Should you explain the words in the poem with other words? That always strikes me as a bit strange, you know. So here's a poem and it's about this, and I tried to do that. No, stop. It's a poem. The poem is the words are the poem. The explanation is in there somewhere if there needs to be one, and maybe there doesn't. So that's kind of my approach. Similarly to photographs, although I spend a hell of a lot of time talking about photographs, obviously, but that doesn't mean that I think I have to. I think I don't have to. It's just because I love talking about them. But truthfully, a piece of art, should you explain a piece of art? Well, it's up to you. If a guy decided to paint a panel blue, on the one hand, you should just be absorbed in the blue. Just let it be blue. Be blued, you know, be blued over. And that's it. Then go home and see what happens next. Having said that, I would actually be interested in knowing why someone decided to paint a panel blue, why they chose a certain type of blue, what the blue means to them, in relation to their life. Do they think that it's deep and meaningful, or is it bullshit? You know, they're just having a joke, like taping a banana to the wall and charging $10,000 or $100,000 for it. What's going on? So there's two sides to it. And it's up to you which ones you want to know about. Despina says, I pictured in every window a something behind it, doing or thinking what you have written. I pictured in every window a soul behind it, doing or thinking what you have written. That's really interesting. Yeah, that's really nice. Chris says, I usually write some type of fun comment, not full explanation, more like a brief introduction. In my groups, I don't like it when people just post a photograph or anything without a tiny explanation, because there's a million groups where people just dump photographs. And I don't want that. It's my choice. I don't think a photograph needs an explanation in and of itself, intrinsically. But in my groups, I want an explanation, because groups are about connection and sharing something of yourself. So for me, I don't want naked pics, as I call them. I don't want naked pictures in the groups, because that's a dumping ground. It could be Flickr, it could be, anywhere. But fundamentally, no, I don't think you do have to explain photographs, because it's a visual thing. How can you explain an image? You can explain it in words, but the words aren't the image. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so I was happy with that. It was fun. In the middle, this is something that you find art everywhere in Paris, and you're walking down the road and you see, oh, they've done this. And I love the fact that they allow it. In some places, maybe they wouldn't, but there's quite a few places in Paris that they do allow really nice things to brighten up the environment. So these are bollards. They're really fat ones. You get thinner ones with bobble round bits on top, which people decorate in cool ways as well. This is not those. There's no bobbly bit on top, which some people have turned into eyes and things. That's called Cyclops. In fact, the street artist that does that, I think, is called Cyclops. But these ones aren't like that, but each of them has an animal pattern. And I wrote a probably very, very funny text to go with it. There it is. You can pause the video at some other point and read that if you want to, if it's big enough. And what else? Yeah, these two. There is a diagonal correspondence between these two. This is it's quite funny. There's this kind of bridge which I relate to the Wobbly Bridge in London. There was a bridge they built in London for pedestrians, and they realized that when people walked on it, a certain rhythm came up when there was a certain wind, and it started wobbling, and it could have got totally destroyed, like a famous bridge in Scotland. I think it was a very impressive video. It wobbles, then it wobbles again. You get this big thing going, and then and it just. So that was a Wobbly Bridge, and this one kind of wobbles when you walk on it as well. I think, is it this one? I'm not sure. And it's funny because there's these things on the ground saying no bikes, no skateboards, no roller skates, and no dogs. And invariably, there are either cyclists, skateboarders, roller skaters, rollerbladers, or dogs going past. So the point is, in a photograph, get the no cycling sign and a bike. Otherwise, don't bother. There has to be a story. Otherwise, what's the point? So there's 2 bikes for the price of 1 there. And then that one was in correspondence with this one, which is nice. It's I wrote a kind of slightly poignant piece about the fact that we can't play outside anymore, which you should read, actually. I think it was quite good, from what I can remember. And it was this sort of dead end right next to the old railway, another part of the old railway, in another arrondissement, actually. And this dead end has been blocked off, and they've done this circuit on it. So I tried, as I was photographing it, to get some nice angles in there. Obviously, exactly the same principle as this one. There's something on the ground. Try and get a real live example of it in the photograph as well. This is just, it becomes second nature when you have this in mind. It becomes second nature. Repetition of elements in a different style, like there's a real bike and there's a symbol of a bike in the same picture. It just makes your picture so much stronger. And that is something we cover in the masterclass, of course, as one of the many ways of making photographs stronger. And look, lo and behold, there it is again. Exactly the same thing, you see. That's on the bottom in the corner, nice angles, and then at an angle here is a real set of wheels. And to fill in that bit at the back, there are a couple of people walking past. And this thing sort of zooms off into the distance. You see that curved line up in the top left. I've thrown in one of my sort of trademark angles, because I always do that, really. This hasn't actually got an angle as such, but it's off to an angle. You see the picture's been taken off to an angle, which has a really nice effect. And it's quite close, better than taking it straight on. And so that was okay. That is actually a nice little tea shop in near La Bastille. And it's cool because it's got, the windows are full of teapots, appropriately enough. And you go inside and you get served, various types of tea. And the whole place inside is what they call it. I think they call it a dépôt de vente, something like that in French. It means you can, it's actually devoted inside. It's decorated by jewelry, handmade jewelry. And so even the table you're having your tea on has a glass top, and in it, it's a cabinet, and you've got all sorts of beautiful handmade jewelry for sale underneath your teapot. It's really quite clever. And the walls are adorned by beautiful necklaces and stuff at very reasonable prices. So that's cool. That's really nice. I've done some training there, well, sort of coaching, so I have to say. And then finally, from this one is this, the perturbing self-portrait. There it is. Guess where it is? It's in Shakespeare and Company bookshop, the amazing bookshop in Paris. And they've got this funny little library upstairs. And I always go up there and I grab a book. It's a book you can't buy, you can't take away. I grab a book and I take a new photograph every time I go there. I'm showing someone around, or I'm there on my own. And there's always a cool photograph, including a book with a title in it. Makes a really cool photograph. This one's called Witch's Breed. I've actually got a website called blackwitch.com, a domain name. I think I do it in the text. I think I talk about this in the text. Yeah, I talk about this in the text. The websites which I bought years and maybe decades ago and I haven't yet used. 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗏 is so cool, and I've never used it. So I'm thinking, things are going around in my head now. What the hell could I use 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗏 for? I mean, I'm not a devil worshipper or anything, but I don't want to give it away. I don't want to sell it. It's so cool. I've just recently started using LazyPig.com for articles. So I'm moving in that direction. So there it is. Okay, I've played around with the colors, but look at the composition. There's two of me. One of them's got a back of his head, and the other's got a front. And because of the mirror effect, you can actually see that I'm reading some sort of mysterious spell there, probably. And there it is. So I think I will leave it at that. What else have I got to tell you? So I've told you that it would be cool if you signed up for my newsletter, please, because there's a creative tip in there every day. It's very short to read. There's action points if you want to go and be creative in one of my groups. You can do that. I encourage you to do it. I offer you one little bit of my creativity to inspire you. And there's also the upcoming events which I run, which you can get on for a newsletter subscriber price. And you get also my 9 ninja tips. No, that's not it. You get my 9 ninja tips. That's not it either. You get my 9 ninja. I was going to show you my ninja tips. All right. So I'm going to share another screen with my ninja tips, which is kind of I know it's a corny name, but you know, what do you want? What do you want? I'm a corny guy. So the ninja tips look like this. They're called Outside the Box. What box? 9 ninja tips to boost creativity and productivity with me. So I've done these 9 tips, and each tip looks like this. Okay, that's what it looks like. And you've got a tip, and you've got a reasoning for it being a tip. I invented all of these. Yeah, it's all my own work. So they're what they are. And then I've got an example which shows you how I've put into action this tip in some way or other, you know, to make it real for you. Then down here, you've got a creative picture of me. Then you've got a meme, a creative meme with a creative thing on it to inspire you a bit more. And you've got a quirky tune, and that's it. And as you can see, there are a whole bunch of these beautiful things. You see, they're all in the same style, different color, different tips, and they are such fun, and they are yours for free when you sign up for my my newsletter, which is also free. Go to the place I told you already, infinitecreativity.com/newsletter. All right, so that's about it, folks. And so from now on, I would like you to hang on. Where am I? I don't know where I am anymore. So if you're not a member of a creative smartphone photography group, then please join. It's really cool. It's wonderful. People post their photographs. I give you a prompt every day, and you can contribute your photographs every day or every now and then on that prompt, either inspired by the prompt and a little piece of text that I put with it. Okay, so I give you a little bit of text as well. So that was a recent prompt, you see. And here it says, get creative every day. Today's snappy prompt. Get creative every day. How does the image make you feel? What does the text below bring to your mind? So include a little bit of the text in case you want your photographs to be inspired by the text. It's a little bit of text from the daily post. Let a few ideas or emotions or spontaneous reactions spring forth, whatever they may be. And you can post any original pic of yours. It can be inspired by this photograph. It can be inspired by the text that goes with it, which is here, which is kind of random. Or it can be just inspired by you've got a photograph you want to share. Every day you can do that, no problems. And I will talk about your photographs that you have contributed in this weekly chat on a Monday. I think it's going to be on Monday. All right, so if you have any questions about photography, put them in the daily thread. If you've got any questions about your photograph, put it in the daily thread when you post your photograph. Okay, who else have we got here? I've got Despina is saying, when I was in La Bastille, I could smell the blood of the guillotine. Was it my idea? No, no, they still execute people. Especially, no, I'm not going to go anywhere with that thought. Yes, it could have been real, History is heavy in those parts. In the Bastille, you actually have vestiges in and around the Bastille of the old prison. In the metro, on the ground, there's some stones nearby. Really, really interesting stuff. These are the curiosities of Paris, which I thrive on, which I love. Despina is saying, good night, Sab. Good night, Despina. Hélène is saying, hello, Hélène. How are you tonight? You're just coming in at the end, or you're just saying hello at the end. Maybe you did that on purpose, because you can't stand more than 5 minutes of my blah, blah. So we've talked about loads of things, and you've missed them all. Or maybe you were lurking. So that's it, folks. And my plan is to do these every week. And don't forget, I've got a new smartphone masterclass coming up in September. It's open now, early bird pricing. And you can go, have I got that or not? Here it is, finally. Yeah. So you can go here. You can go to infinitecreativitynow.com. That's what the page looks like, okay? And if you want to actually just go directly to the page of the website, and then you can just click the link. You can see all my upcoming classes, and the next one is in September. It's a new run of the wonderful smartphone photography masterclass, 9 weeks. It's amazing. Early bird pricing is now open. You just click on this yellow button, this pink button. All right, and before that, in the group, there will be a very easy, fun 5-day photographic challenge at the beginning of September. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. This has been Sab in Paris, and saying bye-bye. It's late here, later than normal. It won't normally be this late. It's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Thanks for watching. Keep being creative. Contribute your photographs in the smartphone photography group. Join it if you haven't already joined. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now. Bye for now.